Introduction: Bruce Willis is one of the most famous actors in Hollywood. In the old days, when the grass was greener and the water wetter, his presence in the cast was a sign of quality. Even if the movie wasn't a masterpiece, you could still watch it without any harmful consequences for your health. But today, this incredibly talented actor seems to be doing everything possible to make us forget him. His heroic past now feels like science fiction that happened to someone else. Of course, this career twist isn't unique to Bruce Nicolas Cage. It's also racing him to the bottom. Why can't these legends just enjoy retirement like Sean Connery? Why star in trash? Perhaps some don't want to give up their mansions and yachts, while others simply owe money to everyone. It's sad, but it doesn't make watching their new movies any easier. Today, let's look back at Bruce Willis's career path. Moonlighting, an early ego like many big stars. Bruce was never a sweetheart. He started showing his difficult character right at the beginning of his journey. Back then, it seemed like bad luck, or someone else's fault, for example. Sybil Shepherd, his co-star in the show Moonlighting. This series gave Willis the fame that eventually led him to Die Hard. There's a myth that Bruce was a complete unknown before playing John McClane. That's not true. Studios were only afraid to hire him because of his comedic image.
Si tu me laisses partir demain, qui chantera pour mon destin? L'ombre se glisse dans mes mains et tout s'efface dans le...
Moonlighting was one of the most expensive shows on TV. Conflicts on set were routine. Initially, Bruce was in Shepard's shadow, but as his fame grew, so did his ego. After Die Hard hit theaters, Willis became uncontrollable. He reportedly refused to continue the show, blaming everything on his co-star, although he was the one often delaying production.
Les heures s'étirent comme des vies, et l'horloge est mise dans l'oubli. Si je m'éloigne, que restera qu'un cœur fondu en morceaux de soie?
The Hudson Hawk disaster for Bruce Willis. There were no authorities. It was impossible to predict which shoot would go smoothly and which would turn into production hell. The movie Hudson Hawk is a prime example. Many actors consider filming this movie the worst days of their lives. It started well. Bruce wanted to work with his friend Danny Ike. They chose a novice director, Michael Lehman, simply because they liked his previous film.
Puis-je rêver sans ton regard? Ou suis-je l'ombre d'un miroir? Si le temps efface ma mémoire, me souviendras-tu quelque part?
This was a fatal mistake. The director couldn't resist the pressure. Bruce essentially became the writer and director. He changed the script so much that he had to be credited as a screenwriter. Expensive sets were built and never used. The result? A box office bomb and a golden raspberry for worst screenplay. Willis blamed the studio for marketing it as an action movie instead of a comedy. The turbulent 90s. Did Bruce learn a lesson? No. Next came the thriller Striking Distance. The situation repeated itself. Willis rewrote the script on the fly. The first test screenings were a nightmare. Audiences hated it. The studio panicked and ordered expensive Bruce was furious about returning to work. He ignored director Rowdy Harrington and barely tried to act. The final version was cut to pieces to save it, but it still flopped. Interestingly, during this period, Bruce turned down the lead role in Speed, which went to Keanu Reeves, but luck was on his side. Quentin Tarantino offered him a role in Pulp Fiction. This project saved Willis's career after a string of failures.
Puis-je rêver sans ton regard? Ou suis-je l'ombre d'un miroir? Si le temps efface ma mémoire, me souviendras-tu quelque part? Si tu me laisses partir demain, qui chantera pour mon destin? L'ombre se glisse dans mes mains et tout s'efface dans le lointain. Ô toi sans qui je ne suis rien, un souffle perdu dans les parfums. Pourquoi le monde tourne ainsi? Si tu me quittes, il n'a plus de cri. Chaque étoile me parle de toi. Elle murmure ce que je ne vois. Mais si la nuit éteint leur feu, serais-je encore un homme heureux? Les heures s'étirent comme des vies, et l'horloge est mise dans l'oubli. Si je m'éloigne, que restera? Qu'un cœur fendu en morceaux de soie. Les heures c'est comme des vies, et l'horloge est mise dans l'oubli. Si je m'éloigne, que restera? Qu'un cœur fendu en morceaux de soie. Ô toi sans qui je ne suis rien, un souffle perdu dans les parfums. Pourquoi le monde tourne ainsi? Si tu me quittes, il n'a plus de cri. Puis-je rêver sans ton regard? Ou suis-je l'ombre d'un miroir? Si le temps efface ma mémoire, me souviendra
Bay and Smith conflicts after resting for a few years. Bruce went back to his old ways. On the set of Armageddon, he clashed with Michael Bay. It's hard to imagine, but Willis managed to annoy even the explosive director. After filming, Bruce vowed never to work with Bay again. But the most infamous conflict happened later, on the movie Cop Out in 2010. The director, Kevin Smith, was a huge fan of Willis.
Qui chantera pour mon destin. L'ombre se glisse dans mes mains. Et tout
He was thrilled to work with his childhood hero. However, reality was harsh. Smith later said working with Willis was soul crushing. Bruce refused to say his lines, improvised poorly, and even mocked the director's lack of technical knowledge. Smith claimed Willis killed the movie. Bruce, in turn, called Smith a whiner.
Chaque étoile me parle de toi. Elle murmure ce que je ne vois. Mais si la nuit éteint leur feu, serais-je encore un homme heureux? Les heures s'étirent comme des vies, et l'horloge est mise dans l'oubli. Si je m'éloigne, que restera? Qu'un cœur fendu en morceaux de soie. Les heures c'est comme des vies, et l'horloge est mise dans l'oubli. Si je m'éloigne, que restera? Qu'un cœur fendu en morceaux de soie. Ô toi sans qui je ne suis rien, un souffle perdu dans les parfums. Pourquoi le monde tourne ainsi? Si tu me quittes, il n'a plus de cri. Puis-je rêver sans ton regard? Ou suis-je l'ombre d'un miroir? Si le temps efface ma mémoire, me souviendras-tu quelque part?
He direct-to-video era after failing with A Good Day to Die, Hard and Red 2. Willis moved into a new territory, the Geezer teaser movies. These are low-budget films, released straight to video. The quality of these films is abysmal. Bruce usually appears for just a few minutes, looking bored and tired, often wearing an earpiece because he couldn't remember lines.
Qui chantera pour mon destin? L'ombre se glisse dans mes mains, et tout s'efface dans le lointain. Ô toi sans qui je ne suis rien, un souffle perdu dans les parfums. Pourquoi le monde tourne ainsi? Si tu me quittes, il n'a plus de cri. Chaque étoile me parle de toi. Elle murmure ce que je ne vois. Mais si la nuit éteint leur feu,
Yet, rumors suggest he was paid millions for just 1 or 2 days of work on these sets. He churned out dozens of these movies, destroying his legacy for a quick paycheck. Or so it seems.
si je m'éloigne, que restera? Qu'un cœur fendu en morceaux de soie. Les heures c'est comme des vies, et l'horloge est mise dans l'oubli. Si je m'éloigne, que restera? Qu'un cœur fendu en morceaux de soie. Ô toi sans qui je ne suis rien, un souffle perdu dans les parfums. Pourquoi le monde...
For a long time, people thought Bruce was just greedy or lazy. But in 2022, the tragic truth was revealed. Bruce Willis's family announced that he was retiring from acting due to a diagnosis of aphasia, which later progressed to frontotemporal dementia. This condition affects the ability to speak, understand language, and process information. Looking back, it becomes clear that his laziness, the earpieces, and the desire to earn money quickly in low-grid movies were not about greed. He was trying to secure his family's future while he still could, fighting a battle no one knew about. The tough guy was losing his toughest fight. So, instead of judging his last movies, perhaps we should remember him for the joy he brought us in his prime. Being Bruce Willis wasn't easy, especially at the end.